To no, I'm not supposed to.
No.
I don't know why I brought one that wasn't fully charged. I'm live on YouTube. And tonight we're going to share in our millionaire mindset session, message from a 3-year-old master. So, prayerfully everyone can hear me okay. And I'm not in my normal setting, but the message from a 3-year-old master and a 3-year-old genius is what we'll also say. Like when we talk about 3-year-old genius, I'll get into that in a second. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll get into it in a second. But the 3-year-old genius, I'm going to tell you who he is in a little bit. And the 3-year-old genius that I've learned from, he it's you'll get a real big kick out of it. And the other thing is, but what he said was, what he helped me to realize is that when, like, in order to to be great at anything, like if you want to be able so we talk about millionaire mindset, right? And there's a lot of people out there talking about they want to become a millionaire. There's a lot of people out there that talk about they want to be financially free and financially independent. There's a lot of people out there that talk about they want to have financial freedom for their family. They want to build generational wealth. They want to break generational cycles. They want to build legacy. A lot of people out there talking about it. But this is what the 3-year-old genius told me. He helped me to realize that if you want to be serious, if you want people to think you're serious about what you're doing, stop playing at the thing that you want people to think you're serious about. Stop playing. Right. And so how does that, so stop playing at the thing you want people to think you're serious about. What does that mean? So let's talk about that. Let's just talk about it for a bit. Because when you're talking about building generational wealth, let's go all the way back from what I first said. We talked about how, like, if you want to build, if you want to become a millionaire, right? And people that just gets thrown around so much, right? And if you haven't done it yet, it seems like it's so far gone. Like it's like one of the most difficult things to do. And I'm going to tell you, for most people, it is. For most people, it's the most difficult thing to do. And you know why? Because exactly what this little genius told me. Stop playing at the thing you want people to think you're serious about. Now, how do you become a millionaire? Like, how do you generate $1 million in revenue in a year when nobody in your family's ever done it? You might only be making 6 figures, low 6 figures, maybe even 5 figures all your life, all your adult life. And then all of a sudden you want to become a millionaire. Well, or maybe you've had that in your brain, maybe it's been a desire that you've had. Maybe it's a desire that God gave you. But yet you're not willing to you're not serious. Like, you're not willing to do what's necessary to get there. Right? You're playing at the thing. Because I'm going to tell you, like, I know some people who um who I've helped, to change their life, their financial future, like totally change. I've had some people where their lives have changed, and I've had some people where when they just stayed stuck. Now, I used to take it really personal when people stayed stuck. I used to think it was me. And I came to realize, and now this was from a different genius, another genius that he wasn't a 3-year-old genius. This was a 60-year-old genius. And this genius told me that what he said was, he said, you know what, Jim? He says, all work works. He said, and when people get that, like that's so important, Jim, when you get that, it's so important. Well, what do you mean all work works? What does that mean? And he said it's either going to work on us or it's going to work for us. But either way, all work works. I'm like, okay, like, what does that mean? Okay, I get that part. It works on us. It works on us. Well, he says, and then he said, but here's the thing. He said, Jim, he said, you have to learn, though, to let the work you have to learn to let the work that we're working on work on us, so that when we become the person that we need to become, it now can work for you. So he said, you have to learn to make the work that you're working on make you become the person for whom the work can work for. And so the 3-year-old genius, what did he say? He said, stop playing at the thing you want people to be serious, that the thing you want people to think you're serious about. So if you're serious about changing your life, if you're serious about changing your financial future, if you're serious about becoming a millionaire, it's not impossible. In fact, it's you have, compared to the first race that you've ever run in your life, the first race that you've ever run, becoming a millionaire is going to be so much simpler. Well, what's the first race that you've ever run? What was the first challenge that you've ever had? What was the first challenge that you had that was the greatest challenge that you'll ever have? You know what it was? Becoming a human being. Well, what does that mean, Jim? Well, becoming a human being. What did you have to do to become a human being? Well, as a little sperm cell, you had to make it up the fallopian tube to reach the egg before the other sperm cells. Okay, Jim, like, what is this? Is this like, why are you telling me all this now? What are we doing? Is this a birds and the bees conversation? No, it's not. It's real. Because do you know how many sperm cells actually you were racing against? Studies show that when a male and a female they're procreating, there's 500 million to 1 billion sperm cells that are released from the man into the woman. 500 million to 1 billion. And out of 500 million to 1 billion, there's only one that gets to make it to that egg first, to fertilize that egg first. There's only one that fertilizes the egg. So that one, if you're listening right now, guess what? You are the one. I am the one. That 3-year-old genius, He was the one. Your kids, they are the ones. My 60-year-old genius, he was the one. We're all the ones that made it. Out of 500 million to a billion, the first race we ever ran, we won. And there's no other race you're going to run where you have a 500 million or 1 billion chance out of one in 1 billion or 1 in 500 million to make it. Becoming a millionaire is so much easier. You know how many new millionaires they create? That's created every year. So it's so much easier. But what happens? What happens is, I'm going to tell you, it's not easy if you haven't allowed the work to work on you to make you become the person that the work can work for. Well, what do you mean, Jim? Like, I have a lot of people that tell me, well, what do you mean? Like, I work, like I gave it my all for a whole week. I gave it my all for a whole 2 weeks. I gave it my all for a whole month. I gave it my all for 2 months. Okay. Guess what? Congratulations. You're putting the work in. If the work hasn't finished what it's supposed to finish so that it can work for you, if it hasn't transformed you into the person that it can work for, well, let me tell you what my 60-year-old genius also told me. He said, if the work that you've been doing isn't working for you, he says, I promise you, Jim, that the work that it's been doing on you, you've been resisting it at some level. So he says, if there's anyone that is putting in the work, they're serious about their thing. And I'm thinking about this. I'm like, wait, like, I'm not even thinking about other people. I'm thinking about me. Like, first I think about me, because I'm not that guy to go out and start judging people. Like, I have discernment. God's given us discernment. But I look at me first, right? And I say, can I help people become millionaires? Yeah, I've done that. Okay. How can I best help them? Well, do you have systems and processes? Yes, I have systems and processes. And are they systematized where if you do the thing, do you have to like always change it? No, I don't always have to change it. Pretty much I do the same thing every time and I get the same result. Okay, that's systematized, right? Again, I like to call myself the king of keep it simple. Like, but it ain't easy. It's just simplified. That's what I say. The sign of a good businessman or businesswoman is someone who takes the complicated and makes it simple, right? And so I believe, like, I've done that. Like, I've made millions and millions and millions of dollars because the thing that so many people make complicated when it comes to real estate, I've simplified it. So now it's systematized and it works for me. But in the beginning, it wasn't working for me. It was working on me. What happened though? So as I'm thinking, okay, what happened to you, Jim? Like, what happened to you when, when we go all the way back to the beginning? Y'all may or may not know my story in the beginning, but my mom died. No, I'm sorry. Let me change that. My mom, she did die, but she called me and told me she was dying. And I was in college at the time. And she told me she was dying. And I'm the oldest of 3 of us, single parent household. I'm a couple 100 miles away at school trying to do something that no one in my family's done, which is get a college degree. That was what we was taught, right? That's how you get out of that upbringing of poverty. That's how most of us was taught, right? So you go away, you go to college and listen, like I bought into it. You know why? Because getting away from where I was at, whether I got my degree or not, like it was going to be much better than living where I was. So like my thing was just get away from that environment, if nothing else. And but what happened? So as I was going through college, the best thing that happened to me, I'm gonna tell you, the best thing that happened to me in college was I met my wife. 38 years we've been together. I love that woman. I did a crazy video yesterday about my wife cheated on me. And it was an awesome video. You guys should watch it because there's a huge lesson in that video. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm not gonna be a spoiler, but I'm gonna tell you, you should watch it, right? And at the end, see what that message is. See the message. Like there's a message in there. Anyway, so I met my wife, the best thing that happened to me in college, right? And but what happened? Like the reason I'm in real estate today and my family's life is so much different than the way we grew up when I was coming up was because when I got that call from my mom, that was work. There was work that now forced me to get serious about the thing that I was playing with. That was serious. So I went away to college. And I said that was the best thing that happened to me and my wife, right? I was just playing in school. For 3 years, I was a super senior. By the time I left, after I got that call from my mom, I'm like, okay, you got to wake up. You got to get serious because you're going to have to take care of your younger siblings. So you better get serious about life right now. And so I saw this infomercial on TV, Carlton Sheets. I ordered it. And if I were to put the type of energy and effort into my college career that I put into Carlton Sheets, I would have had my degree in 3 years or less. Why? Because I was serious about the thing that I wanted people to think I was serious about. Now, what people? Like, was I out there trying to impress people? No, I wasn't out there trying to impress people, but I had to. Like, you don't become a millionaire just being mediocre. You don't become a millionaire just being all right. You don't become a millionaire just being okay. No, you become a millionaire by being excellent in the thing that you do. Right? So that people, when you show up, and even if you make mistakes, people, when you show up, they know you're serious about the thing you're doing. And so at that time, I was a young man, no experience. I didn't have the right things going for me. I had the wrong color. I don't really get into that stuff, but it's the reality. Right? It is a reality. I'm not one of those, blame it on, like, that's not me. I never did that. But back then, this was over 30 years ago. And I was in I was in Buffalo. And I can tell you, like, anyway, I ain't gonna say nothing about Buffalo, but like some of the things that I went through as a young man with no experience, no money, and the wrong quote unquote color, trying to break into the real estate game, I heard all kinds of stuff. I mean, literally, I heard stuff one time, and I was standing in the grocery aisle, and I'm glad I had sunglasses on at the time because I was listening to something on my phone with my earphones on, someone who didn't know I was listening to them, someone who I had helped, like big time helped them. And they didn't know because they thought they put me on hold. But when they put me on hold, I put them on hold because I was going through the checkout. And when I put them on hold, they didn't know I could hear them. They just knew that they were on hold. And the things that they said, because of I literally, tears just started streaming down my eyes while I was walking through the checkout aisle. I couldn't believe it. And so, but that was work. right? That was the work. So I put the work in, and every day I was making offers to pick up my first property, no money down, no banks, no experience. Do you know I got to know every day? Every day I got to know. For 3 months, I got to know. For 4 months, I got no's. For 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, I kept getting no's. 8 months, 9 months, I was getting no's. But you know what? I was putting in the work every day. I didn't stop. Why? Because I was serious about the thing. I wasn't even thinking about becoming a millionaire. I just wanted to have a roof over our heads, because if my mom passed away, I got to take care of my brothers and sisters. So it meant that much to me. I was serious. I wasn't playing. I had a reason to be serious. So I let the work on me. And while it was working on me, it made me become the person that it could actually work for. And then after about a year of getting no's, I got my first yes. And then you know what happened? When I got my first yes, I wasn't thinking about, oh, I'm just going to get a roof over my head. Now I'm like, okay, like I could actually do this over and over again. And if I could do this over and over again, like I could be like a Carlton Sheets, where I got multiple properties, and that's what's going to help me build wealth and change these generational cycles. So I was on a mission. But now, if I had not, I'm going to tell you, if I had not, think about the 3-year-old genius. The 3-year-old genius said, stop playing at the thing that you want people to think you're serious about. And my 60-year-old genius said, all work works. It's either going to work on us or work for us. And he says, let the work on you until you become the person that it can work for. All work works. And he said, I promise you though, I promise you, if the work that's working on you, if the work that you're working, if the work that you're doing is not working for you, then the work that is doing on you, you're resisting it at some level. And it's so true. It's so true. Because all the people that I've helped, the ones that have stuck it out when it got tough, they became the person that the work could work for. Like when I made my first $1 million, when I say my first $1 million, the first in this space, like the Airbnb space, because I'd made $1 million in real estate before a year, but in the Airbnb, in the coaching space, the Airbnb space, like it took me 18 months starting from scratch, from zero, to hit $100,000 a month cash. And then every month after that, it just kept going up and 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 up. By the end of the year, I made $1.3 million. But let's go back because the work, did that just happen? You might think, well, like 18 months. Some people might think that's a long time. Some people might think, you full of it. No, I'm not full of it. It took 18 months. But for those of you who think that happened, it was like an overnight success. Yeah, you could say it was overnight success, but it was an overnight success that happened over 30 years. It happened Well, maybe not 30 years. That was what? That was 4 years ago. And then, so it happened. I've been in real estate, but it happened when I got that first phone call. It happened over what, 22 years, 24 years? It took 24 years to happen because I put in the work. But then in that 18 months, I wasn't playing. What happened in the 18 months? The 18 months, here's the work I had to put in the 18 months. Well, first, I had to go learn some stuff. Because even though I was a master when it came to real estate, I didn't know nothing about Airbnb. I didn't know nothing about coaching people all over the world. So I had to go learn some stuff. Right? What else? How did I learn? Well, like I still had a real estate portfolio. I still had a family that I had to give time to. So I mean, like I had to put in, I still had my homeless ministry. And my day was full. Now, I could come up with a whole lot of excuses as to why it didn't work, why Airbnb is not going to work for me. The Airbnb that's made me now close to $4 or $5 million so far. I could have had a lot of excuses why it's not going to work. Oh, I don't have enough time. Oh, I got this going on. I got that going on. How important was it? How important is it? Do I really believe if I put the work in, it's going to work? Did I really believe that? You know what? I did. I believed it. And so you know what I did? I got up every morning at 4 a.m. Oh, without fail, 4 a.m. every morning, because I needed to put the work in. I need to understand this thing that I want people to think I'm serious about. 4 a.m. And it was almost like my Carlton Sheets days. Because back in those days, I was in tears. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, it took me 3 months and I still got no's. It took me 4 months and I still got no's. It took me 5 months and I still got no's. It ain't like I was sitting around going, dancing and being happy. I was not happy. There were times where I was scared. There were times where I was just discouraged. There were times where I literally cried. Did I say that was back then 30 years ago? No, I'm talking about back then 4 years ago when I was doing that 4 a.m. thing every morning. Because I was putting in the work. And there were times when it was just lonely. There were times where I felt like I was burning the candle on both ends. There were times when my wife was frustrated. Like there were times when my tenants were frustrated. There were times when like I just had so much on my plate that I just didn't even know where to turn. There were times when everything I wanted to do, I just couldn't get done. There were times when I didn't know what to do, I had no one to talk to because no one understood. But you know why no one understood? Because that was a journey that God was taking me on for my assignment. And my responsibility was to stay in the fight, to stay in the race. All work works. And if it ain't working for you, it's because you're resisting it. 60-year-old genius. You're resisting it at some level. So when it gets tough, you try to point the finger and blame it on other people. No, it's your work. It's your assignment. Let it work on you till you become the person that it can work for. There's a scripture in Isaiah, in the scripture in Isaiah says, in Isaiah 55, it says, for as the rain comes down and the snow from heaven and do not return there, but water the earth and make it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall be my word that goes forth from my mouth. It shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish what I please, and it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it. How is it relevant? God didn't say, as the rain comes down and water the earth, so that it might bring forth and bud. He didn't say so that it might, so that it can. What did he say? He said, and make it bring forth and bud. To do what? To give seed, bread to the eater, seed to the sower. To make it, that's just the principle. If you do the thing, you do the work, all work works. It all works. And when you don't resist the work that it's doing in you, it's going to make you become the person that it can work for. Because what does he say? It shall accomplish the thing for which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it. Like, it's not it might, it may. No, all work works. If that's the vision God's given you, if that's your assignment, then you got to put the work in. Put it in. It works. Take it from the 3-year-old genius. Take it from the 60-year-old genius. The 60-year-old genius that said that was actually one of my coaches and my brothers, Myron Golden. He said it. He's a 60-year-old genius that said all work works. But that scripture is how it relates. And the reason why you can learn from both. Now, my 3-year-old genius is my grandson. My 3-year-old genius is my grandson. He's actually, yeah, he's 3-year-old. Is he 3 or 4? Yeah, he's turning 4. He's not even 4 yet. He'll be 4. But he's a genius. Like I had a conversation with him earlier today. We went out in Florida. So in Florida, they have boat parades for the holidays. It's beautiful. We took them out, like in the community that I live in. We live on the water, and we got the marina there, and they had this beautiful boat parade where all the boats were all dressed up with lights and Christmas decorations and all this stuff. And we went out and we just enjoyed the Christmas parade, the boat parade. And then later on, actually today, I asked him, I said, grandson, come here. I said, you're a genius, right? He said, yes. I said, I have a question I need to ask you. What is it, Granddad? I said, well, I want to know what, like out of all those boats that you saw, was there one that made you believe that someone put in all his effort to make that boat stand out of all the other boats, so that everybody that watched his boat, it put a smile on their face? He said, yeah, I know which one that was. Like he didn't even hesitate. He said, the captain boat. I said, the captain boat? Yeah, the captain boat, granddad. I said, why? He said, because he painted it. He said he had different colored lights. He had Santa. He had all the Christmas trees. And it made everybody just feel really special. The captain boat, granddad. Like, he didn't hesitate. I said, thank you, grandson. So I'm going to share that tonight. Because you're a genius. You know that, right? He said, yeah, I know that, granddad. I said, okay. But the captain of the captain boat, he didn't play at the thing that he wanted people to think he was serious about. Are you? Do you want to be a millionaire? This is Millionaire Mindset. Do you have a thing that you're looking to do, that you're trying to do? Don't try. Like, if you're trying to do it, just stop trying, please. Right? Why? Well, this is what I like to say. When you got up this morning, did you try to brush your teeth? When you got up this morning, did you try to put on your pants or your dress? You got up this morning, did you try to open your eyes and take a breath? No, you just did it, right? You did it. If you're trying, you're just looking for an excuse to stop doing the work when it gets tough. Because now you could just say, I tried. At least I tried. No, it ain't about trying. Just do it. Do it. What is your intention? If your intention, if you guys, is this like, are you guys catching this part? Like, I see, who's that in there? Peralita, she said, yeah, that's for real. Like, all work. Yeah, like, John's in there, coach. Is this resonating with y'all? Because, like, I normally, when I get on these things, like, it's hard for me. I don't even see people that are in the lives, and I'm not interacting. But I'm gonna try and interact. If you guys interact, I'm gonna try and interact with you. But is it resonating with you? Like, if you're watching this on YouTube and the live is over and you're watching it, is it resonating? Put a thumbs up or put something in the chat if it's resonating. Have you, like, are you trying to do something? Do you have a vision? So stop trying. Do you have a vision to do something? Has God placed a desire in your heart to do something that no one else in your family has ever done? That no one else around you has ever done? Where it separates you, like that 1 in 500 million, like that 1 in a billion, you were the one that made it. Is there something that you're trying, that God's giving you vision to do, and you've been praying about it, and you went and you got a coach, or you read some books, and you took some action, you invested in yourself, and God gave you not just the vision, but then he said, go. And you went. And then it got tough. And now you're like, I don't know if I could do this. It's his fault, her fault, their fault, that fault. I don't know. Was I really hearing what God was telling me? Looking for all these excuses. Because the work that's working on you is not yet working for you. The work that's working on you that's not working for you yet is because you're resisting something. What is it you're resisting? Did you ask? Do you realize how hard it really is not to become a millionaire, not to change your life, not to actually do the thing? You know why it's hard? Because we're so programmed. If you're 30 years old, you've been programmed for 30 years. And oh, by the way, the other 40 or 30 years that your mama and your daddy, they were living before they had you, or before you got to this age. And then your grandma and your granddad, like they were, if they'd never done it, they've been programmed a certain way. And that's all in our mind. It's all in our DNA. It's all in the way we work and act and talk and do. That's it. So the hardest thing is about reprogramming yourself, putting the work in. What's up, my sister Myrna Love? Like, it's about that, putting the work in. That's the hardest part, not giving up when it gets tough. I don't know any millionaire. I don't know any multimillionaire. I haven't read about any billionaires where it got tough and then they quit. Do you realize Elon Musk? He was literally, he's the richest man in the world right now. And you go back less than 5 years, and he was one paycheck away. I'm sorry, he was 1 week away, one payroll session away, where he had to pay his people away from filing bankruptcy. He would have had to file bankruptcy. And if he had given up at that time, the assignment that he had would never have come to fruition. Like, that story will go on and on. The Warren Buffetts have the story. The Oprah Winfrey's have the story. The Steve Jobs has the story. The Jeff Bezoses had the story. The Michael Jordans had. Michael Jordan. Everybody says how Michael is so talented. Yes, he's very talented. Remember what I said earlier? I said, what is the sign of a great business person or a great creator? A great creator, the sign of a great creator is making the complicated simple. All of those people that I just mentioned, to include Mike, they made the complicated simple. Not only did they make it simple, they also made it look simple. Like, everybody, when Mike was out, everybody wanted to be like Mike. Flying through the air, going to get his Jordans, like doing all this stuff, thinking they could be like Mike. He made it look simple. Do you know Michael Jordan? Y'all all know the story. He got cut from his high school basketball team. He never forgot that, to the point where even when he was drafted into the NBA Hall of Fame, you know what he did? He got a plane ticket for the person that was chosen above him in the draft. He invited him out there because that also motivated him. The person, like, when he got cut, like, that drove him to do the work. And he allowed the work to work on him so that not so that he can become, the work made him become the person that the work could work for. And Mike was the first billionaire NBA basketball player ever. First. He made it look simple. He didn't give up. One of the things I love to say is success leaves clues. Y'all with me? Like, success leaves clues. I don't try to be a genius. My grandson's a genius. Like, if I look at a definition of genius, I could say I'm a genius. Why? Because I'm always trying to learn, but I am not trying to reinvent the wheel. I think if that's the genius in me, the genius in me is to see the simple, how to look at things and how to look at how people made it simple, or look at things and where people are missing how to simplify it. and then just simplify it. Cindy's with me. Cindy's already doing some things, right? Cindy, don't we make this process simple? We make it simple, right? Like this stuff, some of the stuff you're doing now that we're doing, like, I don't know. I don't want to tell people how much money I sent Cindy in the last 3-4 weeks, right? But simple. And everybody makes the stuff complicated. It ain't easy. I didn't say easy. I said simple. But if that's the thing that makes me the genius, it's how to simplify it. Like, how do I do that? I'm also looking and learning from people that's already doing it. I know that work ain't easy. I don't want to go reinvent the wheel, but I ain't just following anybody. Right? Do they have my values? Do they care for the people? This part might be a little tough because I'd like to say, do they love the Lord? That's important to me. However, I've learned a lot from people who didn't. Not that they didn't, they hated him. It's just that they didn't know him. But they still had a gift. And that gift was a part of what I needed. And he allowed me to take it and move on. When I say take it, like pay for it, a lot of money for it, and then understand it, and then use it for the thing that he needed me to use it for. It's a piece of the missing puzzle. It's a missing piece. It's a part of the puzzle. But don't reinvent the wheel. Make it simple. And don't give up. But everything, like when I pay a lot of money for people to help me with something, I'm not just paying them to give me something to make it easy. Why? Because I want to understand the thing that I'm doing. I still want to become the person that the work can work for. Because I'm not going to be the one doing all the work. In the beginning, when we did Airbnb, I was doing all the work. Me and my daughter started at Taina way back in the day. And when we started growing that portfolio, we had, I think, 21 listings. We grew it. And we were putting in like 40-something hours a week just running that thing. But there was a method to the madness. The method to the madness was, I need to understand how this works. Because once I understand how it works, I'm going to get rid of all the fat. I'm going to systematize this thing so that it can work for us. Because we were working for it. But it wasn't because I was trying to make it work and trying to make it make more money. No, I needed to understand the thing so that people knew I was serious about the thing, that I wanted people to think I was serious about. I wasn't playing with it, but I had a bigger plan. And I knew that plan wasn't just going to unravel overnight, but it didn't take that long. Like we keep talking about overnight. When I say overnight, from today to tomorrow. Like I don't look at it from a time thing, but from today to tomorrow. It wasn't overnight, but literally within a year and what was it? We went from zero with just Airbnb listings. We went from zero to, what was it, 250,000, something like that, dollars in less than a year and a half, I think it was, in our Airbnb listings. Starting from zero, from scratch. And then I put the brakes on because I'm like, okay, let's systematize this thing now so we can really grow it because it works. And then people started asking, can you help me? Can you show me? Oh, Lord, this is what you want me to do too? All right, let's go. So what are you guys doing? Like, what is the thing you're working on? Why am I saying all this? I'm not saying all that. I'm saying all this for one reason only. To let you know that you got to put the work in. You gotta allow the work to work on you, to make you, not so that you can, not that so that you could try, but let the work work on you to make you become the person that it can actually work for. God gave you the vision. The vision wasn't just for a bunch of money. Like if you're doing this just for a bunch of money, like I don't even work with people like that. It's got to be bigger than that. The money's good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I like the money. I love the freedom that the money allows us to have. Right? Some people say, does money make you happy? No, money will make you happy, but it sure gets rid of a lot of things that try to make you unhappy, don't it? Right? Yeah, that part. So yeah, like the money piece is important. But if it ain't for a bigger purpose, when it gets tough, chances are you're going to resist the work that the work is doing on you. You're going to resist it at some level. And then you start backing up. You start pointing fingers and blaming people. That's your assignment. Sometimes God moves those people out of our way because he's saying, okay, you got enough, go. Or, like I said, I hire people. When I pay people, I also pay them and I want them to show me. Like, open up all the covers, like like all the curtains. Show me behind the scenes what's going on. I want to know. I want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. You want to do some stuff for me? Do it. That's cool. But if you're going to do it, I still want to know. Why? Because I want to make sure I understand what it takes to make the thing do what it does. I need to understand it. And if I got to put the work in to understand, then that's a good thing, because then that work is going to work on me. Because there may be something in that process that once I get it, the Lord may give me some vision to show me how I can make it that much better. Because I'm always looking at 10X. How do I 10X this thing? But I ain't thinking about 10X until I at least got the first part down. Okay, you making $1 million a year. I'm doing the thing. I'm making $1 million a year. All right, now I'm there. Now, how do I 10X it? Lord, give me vision. Give me wisdom. Because it's just scientific. If you follow the simple steps, you model what they do. If they're showing you for real, you model what they do, you'll get the same results. But remember, it's your assignment. So there might be something, if God's got a purpose for you, there may be, like, who did I hear the other day? I heard T.D. Jakes. I was listening to him on some stuff. And one of the things he said is, when you go out and get a mentor, he said, go get a mentor. And he said the same thing, like, make sure they show you everything. But don't go trying to be that mentor. Learn the stuff, do the stuff, but you still got to be you. God created you special in your special way. And everywhere I go, I don't see one. I'm in my son's office here, and I don't see one. It might be in his other office downstairs, or he might have it in his room. But I always, like all my offices, I have a globe. That was one of the first things I bought when I was looking to go into the coaching space, was a globe. And I have a big globe in my office in New York, and I got another couple globes in my office here in Florida. And the reason why that globe was so important to me, it symbolized how many people in the world there were. And it symbolized to me, and I knew that God gave me a gift. God's giving you a gift. And out of all the people in the world, there were a small fraction of those people who I know they need the gift that God gave me. That God put me on the earth and gave me that gift to help those people in the situation that they're in. Now, when I look at that globe, and I look at the billions of people that are in like one small fraction. If I can help a small fraction, then I'll never have to think about money. If you help the people, do the thing, use the gift, serve the people, then you'll never have to worry about money. As long as you have the right framework and you know how to get paid for what you're helping people with. And so, but also in my assignment, in your assignment, there are some people who only want your help. I said the other day in that video I did, my wife cheated on me video, right? Now, if y'all haven't watched that video, you got to watch the video, right? Because there's some profound things that I said at the end on purpose, right? I gave that illustration because that was an illustration that I give in Bible studies all the time. You got to watch the video. And I just changed it a bit this way to make it a little bit more real for those who are watching, because at the end, it really needed to hit home his word. People out there watching all this stuff on TV, all this drama. Maybe if they think Coach Jim G got some drama, they're going to watch. It's probably one of the best videos I've done. For what? I don't need you to watch me. You ain't helping me. Watch the video and get the message. It's his message. There's a message there. Right? Learn something from that. But with that, the people that he's calling you, he's calling for you. Only you, your voice can help those people. That's your assignment. It's not your coach's assignment. He can help you and show you. She can help you and show you. But now you take that and you become you. You're the only one out of a billion sperm cells that fertilize that egg. You're special in your way. He created you for a purpose, not for my purpose, not for your sister or your brother's purpose, not for your mother or your daddy's purpose, not for your husband or your wife's purpose. He created you. And what I said in that video last night, the other day, is I said, God created my wife, the only woman in the world. He created one woman just for me, and that was her. Just for me. He's created you for a purpose. He created me for her. He created you for a purpose. Stop playing at the thing. That purpose, like that vision that he's given you is that big, if it means that much to you. Stop playing at the thing that you want people to think you're serious about. Do the work, because all work works. And let the work that you're working work on you so that it will make you become the person that it can work for. And if it's not working for you, then you're resisting it. Stop resisting it at some point. He gave you the vision. He allowed you to go through the thing that you're going through so that you become the person. Because you're going to get the opportunity. It's going to come. We all get the opportunity. Question is, are you going to be prepared when the opportunity comes? Are you going to be prepared? Because if you're prepared, then what it's going to do is it's going to reveal you to the world. The opportunity, when you're prepared, will reveal you to the world. If you're not prepared, it's going to expose you. So put the work in. Do the work. Don't worry about being exposed. Put the work in. You'll become the person that the work will work for. And then all that vision that he gave you, people that he's calling you to serve, your family that he's calling you to break free of that bondage, mental, spiritual, physical, financial. All those people, he's going to use you to change their life. Not so that you get the glory, not so that they get the glory, but so that he gets the glory. And that's what this is about. So hopefully this was helpful. Our millionaire mindset, was it helpful? Yeah, I know y'all, I have a tendency to go on. My son always gets on my case. Dad, you could have stopped that. You could have stopped that a long time ago. You just over delivering, giving value. That's it. I'm done. Prayerfully, it was helpful. If it was, share the video. Put some comments in there if you want. Like, put some comments in that, if nothing else. But share it with someone. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, because you'll get some of the stuff. Like, remember, learn. Like, just learn. Be willing to read. Be willing to find the right person that you like and trust. Be willing to study so that you get better. Like, you show up with excellence. What is excellence? Like, you show up where mediocre is no longer acceptable. Where okay is no longer acceptable. Where good enough is no longer acceptable. But excellence is the only thing that's acceptable. Your family deserves it. And oh, by the way, guess what? You deserve it. You deserve it. You're one in a billion that made it. He gave you a vision for a reason. Fulfill your ministry. Fulfill your purpose. They're counting on you. They're counting on you. So I love you guys. And as always, you got this. God bless you. And I'll see you on the next video. For my students that are here, if there's someone that I need to talk to, then make sure, like, if you're already in Inner Circle, if you're in Inner Circle, or if you're in our Wealth B&B, and we need to chat, if you're here, we want to chat, then let's spend the next 20 minutes, and then I'm a roll because I went over. So let's roll. All right, we'll spend the next 20 minutes. Just jump into Zoom. You guys should have my Zoom link. You know that. You know which Zoom link that is. And then I'll see y'all in a couple minutes, and we'll get rolling. If I don't see anybody in the next few minutes, then I'm gonna shut it down, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, because we'll be rolling tomorrow. Got some stuff going on. All right. So God bless you guys. Love you.